Okay, so I had a little bit of a detour and just wanted to do a little bit of an update, a little explanation, and kind of explain where I am. So I am 3 days post vitrectomy surgery. So I didn't expect that to happen, but I had some changes in the vision in my left eye, which has been the eye that has the partial retinal detachment and traction issues due to retinopathy, diabetic retinopathy. And had a change in vision that was different even than the change in vision before at the end of last year, in December of last year. Um, and so I called the doctor last week. Long story short, got kind of a runaround, called back again because I was very concerned about the changes in my vision, and finally got in contact with the retinologist and got some more imaging, and it was actually an emergency for my left eye. So I had to have emergency surgery to do this vitrectomy. And yeah, so I'm 3 days after the surgery, still recovering. That's why you see just a screen capture with some things. I'm not doing a video with the video camera or anything like that because my vision is still recovering and I don't want to stress my eyes out. So mostly just audio, but I did put in this picture some of the things just that are important, channel related, surgery related. So you can see the eye covers for when I sleep are standard after vitrectomy. Eye drops, of course, the camera that's related to the channel, Hanuman. Um, you can look Hanuman up if you're not familiar, but something that gives me comfort in any time, but especially hard times. Reading glasses. So just wanted to give a quick update, maybe why I'm not doing as many videos right away, but nothing has changed in terms of my plans. This is definitely a challenge, but the way I look at it is I know before I had this surgery, the prospect of having a vitrectomy surgery was very scary to me. And I think I'm going to just include this entire journey. Some of it's backwards looking because I didn't really feel comfortable doing things, going to the doctor's office, potentially in the doctor's office, because things were moving very quickly and I didn't want to be a distraction. I wanted things to move efficiently and not have any distractions. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to include this for other people who are type 2 diabetic, type 1 diabetic. I am type 1 because I know for the longest time I was so afraid of eye troubles, among other things, but definitely eye issues were my big thing that I was just terrified of. And so I think it would help a lot of people if I shared what I go through in real time in recovery from this surgery, things that I saw beforehand, and just, information helps people. The unknown is so scary. You just don't know what it's going to feel like, what's going to happen, what your vision is going to look like, how you can prevent it. Just so many things. So I'm definitely going to continue with videography, with photography, with the camera you see there. Um, and I'm just going to find a way. I'm just going to find a way to moving forward and keep going regardless of what happens with my vision. So one way or another, I will find a way to keep adding videos, keep just trying to share things, trying to help people in any way I can, gaining help from others who support me, and just moving forward. So, yeah, so the two eye patches you see there, the clear and the other one, the metallic one is the one that I got right after surgery. So for the first 24 hours, basically, until your next appointment. So normally when you have the surgery, you get the surgery and then you're seen by the doctor within 24 hours and they patch your eye with that and your eye is covered until you see the doctor, and then they take the patch off and do an eye exam to make sure surgery went okay. then you can continue to wear that when you take naps or sleep, or you can wear the clear one and you just tape it over your eye. And basically what that prevents is pressure, inadvertent rubbing, debris getting in your eye, anything that might disturb the gentle environment that your eye is in after surgery. So I'll describe a little bit of what I saw in my eye that changed. So I had laser surgery in October of 2025. It's now January 31st, 2026. And we were hoping that the laser surgery would stabilize the left eye and then give the retina time to heal and possibly reattach, and that the traction issues, the pulling against the retina and the macula of the bad blood vessels that are in the eye, which is the problem, we had hoped that those would heal once the eye was stabilized. But what wound up happening is that there was actually more traction. There was more pulling from bad blood vessels and just unhealthy cells around the macula and the retina. And that got to the point where it didn't actually tear off my entire retina or make a hole in the macula. But what it did do is it pulled it further away, and there was kind of liquid between the retina and the surface of the eye, which was distorting my vision and causing dark spots on the in between my outer peripheral vision of my left eye and my central vision of my left eye. So it looked like there was two big dark spots there. So once I saw that occurring, I called into the doctor's office and kind of got the runaround, actually. It was kind of disturbing. Normally really love my doctor. I feel like there was a miscommunication by whoever took the call. I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but they didn't bring me in right away, and I had expressed that I was concerned about my eye. And then once it didn't improve over the next few days and it just seemingly got worse, I insisted, and I just called the on-call, and I was like, look, I don't know what to do. This is not improving. And then they got me in the next morning, which again, that was bothersome also. There was the on-call person, the on-call ophthalmologist was not even responding, but the nurse who took the call was very helpful. So they called me the next day, did two separate appointments, and they were like, we need to get you in immediately. So the following day I had the surgery, which was good only in that I didn't have time to stress. It was like very quick. I had to get blood work, pre-op examination, and all this stuff done beforehand. So it was kind of a whirlwind of activity, which in a way was good just because I was getting stuff done and not just sitting there stewing about the surgery. So I don't think I'm going to go into a lot of detail on this particular video, but in the next few videos, I'm going to go into a lot of detail, and those who are interested obviously can watch. If you need information, if you might have to go through this, if you want to know how to prevent things like this, just from my experience with it. But I'm just going to give you kind of a summary here. So went into surgery, seemed like surgery went very well. I was under general anesthesia, so you can do kind of a twilight type of thing, and I didn't want to do that because I have very sensitive eyes. And I wasn't sure that I could hold still and just be calm throughout that procedure, even though the laser surgery I'm usually pretty stoic about. This is a different level of surgery. So surgery went fairly well, sent me home with the eye patch, checked with the surgeon the next morning, very early morning. And he is guardedly optimistic. He said he got everything he needed to get done, and the eye looked good. So on the third day, you can see I'm using these eye patches when I sleep or even when I take a nap. Those eye drops I do every 4 hours, and they're like anti-inflammatory and antibiotic drops. So I just want to put something on the screen for you guys to look at while I'm jibber jabbering about all this stuff. And so my main symptoms, and I do have I forgot to mention, I do have, sometimes they'll put either a gas bubble or a silicone bubble in your eye. The gas bubble, generally you'll have to have a head down position for 50 minutes out of every hour for that bubble to stabilize your eye. My surgeon chose to do a silicone oil bubble in my eye. And so That's also to stabilize the eye, but I don't have to be face down for most of the time. I do have to keep my head upright, not back. And when I'm sleeping, I sleep on my left side as much as I can, or on my back, and then tilt it up a little bit. And basically, the role of that oil bubble is to put pressure on those repaired parts of the eyes, almost like a splint on a broken bone. So it stabilizes the eye. And the gas bubble, if you get the gas bubble, you don't need to go back in to have that removed. It basically dissipates over time. And the oil bubble, I will have to go back in 3 months and have that surgically removed through another procedure. I guess they put a needle in your eye and suck that bubble out. And the other thing I forgot to mention too is they put a dissolvable contact in your eye after the surgery. I had that taken out on my first appointment after that 24-hour period, or the first morning after. And I've never worn contacts, but it was relatively painless. Normally it dissolves, but if it doesn't dissolve, they'll have a nurse just take that out of your eye, and it was not painful. A little uncomfortable, but not too painful. In terms of the recovery over the 3 days, the eye drops do sting, and they exacerbate some of the sandy feeling in your eye, the gritty feeling when you're. It's kind of like if you're in a dusty environment, windy, dusty environment, you get dust in your eye and you feel that grit and you want to get it out. That and some aching are the main kind of things, and obviously blurriness, both due to the surgery and the oil bubble. I took basically Tylenol. I think I took it for the first 24 hours and then I tapered off, and I haven't needed it since. So the pain has been manageable. It hasn't been anything crazy so far. And if that's something you're worried about. And yeah, so I'm guardedly optimistic about the prognosis for the eye. My blood sugar has been great afterwards. I've been using this as a kind of catalyst to really focus on my blood sugar over everything. I mean, I'm basically on bed rest anyway, so I have this time to really get very disciplined about my diet in terms of timing and all that kind of thing. I don't have to worry about anything except for just focusing on that because I can't do much else. And so my blood sugar has been very good. I've been in range most of the time between 100 and 150, and then sometimes between 150 and 180. But before, I was having lots of trouble, and a lot of that was related to a bad dose of thyroid medication that I was taking. It was way too much, and it was causing me to have all kinds of spikes, and I didn't realize it for a long time. And now that I've corrected my thyroid medication, my blood sugar is much more flat, and so I can walk it down to a stable level without worrying as much about the ups and downs that I was going through before. So basically the point of this video is to kind of let you know, after I did the previous video about kind of the channel name change and where I wanted things to go through, this will change things a little bit, but not much. Some things I had planned will either have to be delayed, or some of the things I was planning might have to be canceled, but some just delayed. But I just wanted to let people know who are following along, or who people who come across this video, that I'm going to keep doing these videos and updating about the vitrectomy, because I'm just saying, from my point of view, I wish there was more out there from actual patients sharing what they went through, what it felt like. I'll get into detail about what it felt like for those who are really, really afraid of having their eyes touched, examined, anything. I mean, I'm a kind of person where even before all this, even eye drops are something that were bothersome to me. So if I can go through this, almost anybody can do it. I mean, and I'm just telling you, my eyes are very sensitive. I don't like them touched, poked, prodded, anything at all. And I would say I have a high pain tolerance for most things except for my eyes. So yeah, I just want to put this information out there, and hopefully it's helpful to people. And for, geez, I know other families with kids who are type 1 diabetics who, when they first get diagnosed and they just get bombarded with, here's the potential complications that can occur. And it's just a lot. It's just kind of shell shock. So in the future, I'm going to document all these things. If you want any specific information, please feel free to comment. If you want a certain kind of content, please feel free to comment and let me know. But other than that, I'll leave it there today. I'm not going to do too much because, like I said, I don't want to stress my vision out doing a video and editing and staring at a screen and all that kind of thing. So thank you so much for everybody who watches, likes, subscribes. All the support is noticed. All the people who have messaged me privately, it's deeply appreciated. It really does make a difference, just feeling like you're not alone, and people are out there even just to support, even if it doesn't help them and they're not going through it. So hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.